morning, job seekers, and welcome to Ohio Means Jobs, Lucas County. Today is a very special day.
Very special day and a very special edition.
It is, because tomorrow we're showcasing our first ever Wednesday here at the shared campus.
That's right.
So to start off National Second Chance Month, we had an opportunity to interview 4 students that are working with a teacher from Maumee High School in coordination with Penna County, and they are in a DECA program.
Yeah.
And I was quite amazed after meeting these young folks about this campaign they had started to discuss with the community the importance of giving people second chances
Right.
coming out of incarceration.
Yeah, which is super important. It's a
It is.
very big, it's something that we maybe sometimes overlook, but it is super important.
Well, the thing is that we know firsthand.
Right.
There are many challenges that this population faces
Yes.
when trying to get back into the community.
Definitely.
But more importantly, I think it's really relevant for these young folks who are potentially going to be business people someday, employers, to understand the transitions that people make in life.
Yeah.
And how even our criminal justice system is working on getting people prepared now more than ever upon release to be able to get out into the community and be productive citizens.
Right. Right.
So I applaud them. So we're going to get to meet them here in a little bit and learn a little bit more about their, I call them public service announcements, which there's, 3 of them I think they did?
There are 3 of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so it's a campaign.
Yeah.
And we're going to have that available for our viewers in the podcast as well.
Right. Yep.
Okay, so let's just take it away.
Let's kick it over.
Ethics refers to the moral principles that guide decisions and actions, helping individuals distinguish right from wrong based on values like fairness, rule of law, and transparency. Despite this understanding, everyone makes mistakes. But what if one mistake defined your future forever?
I finished my application.
Oh, great. Let me take a look. Yeah, we don't hire felons here. Sorry.
All right.
For millions of people, finding a job after incarceration feels impossible.
Thank you for meeting with me today. Here's my resume.
Thanks, Donovan. When I look at your resume, the first thing that jumps out to me is this gap in your resume. Can you tell me what you were doing during that time?
I was serving a prison sentence for tax fraud.
Okay. I'm going to be honest with you. Based on our policy, I'm not going to be able to hire you because of your previous conviction. I'm sorry.
Okay. Thank you for meeting with me today.
Over 600,000 people are released from incarceration in the United States each year. These individuals face countless barriers, but one of the most daunting is finding employment. Even with skills, education, and a drive to contribute, their past often still gets in the way, and employers are left with the ethical dilemma on how to handle such applicants.
Donovan, I've gone over your application and noticed that you checked the box of prior convictions. I really appreciate that honesty up front. We believe in fairness here, and so with that, just want you to know you're not out of the running. We liked your application. So with that, there are some things we have to do that the law requires. Just a little bit deeper background check, checking your references, and making sure that everything on there is exactly as you said. But usually when it comes to this kind of stuff, what we've seen in the past is if somebody's upfront and honest at the beginning, there's nothing to worry about.
All right, looking forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Second chance hiring is about fairness. It's about offering people who paid their debt to society an equal opportunity to succeed. By following the rule of law and creating fair and transparent hiring practices, we help eliminate bias and give qualified individuals the chance to contribute to the workforce.
Transparency, fairness, rule of law. Together, that holds us accountable for our past, but we are not defined by it.
Be an ethical leader in the workforce by embracing second chance hiring. Second chances create strong futures. Start today.
Good morning. How are you doing today?
Good, how are you?
I'm wonderful. I really appreciate the opportunity to meet with all of you to discuss your project that you've been doing through your DECA programming. And I see that banner right behind you, emerging leaders and entrepreneurs. What would you say you are, an entrepreneur or a leader?
Probably more of a leader. Some in DECA, there's a lot of different opportunities of things that you can do. And we have some classmates who are entrepreneurs and have come up with their own projects and business plans. And then others of us kind of take businesses and look at their problems and come up with solutions for them. And I'd say I'm more on the solution side, so I'd be more of a leader.
Wow. Thank you for that explanation. What I'd like to do is take a moment to introduce yourselves one at a time, please. The lady who just gave us the information about DECA, will start with you.
My name's Kylie Gherkin.
I'm Laxmitha Uddin.
I'm Shannon Tolbert.
I'm Alexander Dolder.
Nice meeting all of you. I'm really excited about learning more about your Second Chance project. So as we know, we're in April now, which is Second Chance Month, National Second Chance Month. And what I'd like to know is, how did you, get started on the topic? What made you choose this particular topic?
Our community awareness project was dedicating to educating businesses and the public about the benefits of second chance hiring. And this initiative provides employment opportunities for individuals with past convictions.
I see. Anyone else have any comments on that?
I guess I would say our project was inspired by the two major challenges, which is the labor shortage and the barriers for justice impacted individuals trying to re-enter the workforce. So by bridging the gap, we aim to create economic stability, improve workplace retention, and encourage inclusive hiring practices for.
Wow, that sounds pretty ambitious there. So I imagine you had to do a little bit of research to figure out, if these were the actual niches that you wanted to focus on.
Yes.
Okay. So I refer to them as public service announcements. So I'm not sure what you refer to it as, maybe a campaign perhaps. But could you tell me, if it were a campaign, if that's what you decided to do you have several public service announcements as part of that campaign?
Yeah, so we created 3 different public service announcements for the challenge that we were trying to participate in, and they each aimed to different parts of that. One was for success stories, one was employer focused, and then what was the last one?
Success story focus.
Yep, that was the first one, and then
the last one was about hiring or giving students a second chance in college.
Okay.
I think it was youth incarceration.
I see. So what I'm surmising here is that you were focusing on young adults, students perhaps even. Okay. So you were able to get some testimonials from individuals, were you? Okay. How many of those were you able to succeed in getting?
For our success story video, we reached out to Michelangelo Villarreal, and he gave us a really insightful message about his story. So that was really impactful for that.
Okay. Well, I'm sure we're going to be able to showcase 1 or 2 of these different PSAs as part of your campaign. So, the most important thing about these school projects is how to relate the actual project to your school work that you're currently doing, right? So were you able to parallel that with other assignments that you're doing or other classwork that you have going on right now?
Yeah, for sure. So we were able to apply marketing strategies, strategic planning, marketing management skills from our coursework to our campaign. In class, we learned to promote products and services to diverse demographics by identifying the target market audiences and selecting the best promotional mix. Using this approach, we were able to focus on businesses facing labor shortages and corporations with social responsibility initiatives. We incorporated advertising, public relations, personal selling, direct marketing, all through the PSAs. So it was through direct outreach, informational flyers to engage employers. And then lastly, we also used the AIDA model, AIDA, which helped structure our messaging with SMART goals, and digital tools like Jira kept us organized. So this experience reinforced how marketing principles can drive both businesses and success and promote social change.
Wow, I don't think I could repeat any of that again, but that sounds pretty
Yeah,
outstanding.
lots of marketing terms and things that we've had to learn over the past 2 years with all of our students. But being able to use all of that information that we learned even last year as juniors, and being able to actually put it into practice this year has been really insightful.
So I'm curious what you learned from the business community. You said you did some surveys and you reached out. What was some of the feedback? What was the amount of surveys that you sent out? Would you say, and how many were responded to? Do you have numbers like that?
I think we had 25,000 views, or nearly 25,000 views for our public service announcements. But do you know about
The surveys, we got a handful of responses, not as many as we would have liked to receive, but we were able to get some responses from individuals. But otherwise, we got pretty overwhelmingly positive feedback from those who viewed the public service announcements. We were able to reach more people than we thought we would by being able to connect with the Blade and 13 ABC. So we were really able to get our message out there.
So specifically though, from employers, were you getting any type of feedback?
Yeah, a couple of businesses that we reached out to we got feedback back from them, and they were considering second chance hiring, and they said it kind of opened them up to new way to fill these open positions that they're struggling to fill.
Okay, so were those any specific sectors of the marketplace? Like you have medical, hospitality, truck driving, logistics. Were those in specific types of sectors?
A lot of them were in there was some in manufacturing fields, a lot in local businesses that we have in downtown Maumee. So it's kind of all over the place. We have local restaurants, local shops down there that were willing to give it a try.
Okay, so I was curious, when you do ask these questions and you're getting your responses from the businesses, is there always a caveat that goes along with it that says, well, it may depend on what type of offense it might have been?
I mean, I feel like that is a common question that we did get asked a couple of times, and it does depend on what the business's policies are, what kind of business it is.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking with a couple of human resources managers and hiring staffs at these businesses, every business has their own caveat for what they're willing to accept, but a lot of them were willing to give some minor offenses or even some larger ones a chance.
Okay. I suppose it could depend on how large a corporation, how big of a corporation it is, or if it's a private ownership, a small business. Sometimes people could be more forgiving. Okay. So I know that you have had some competition with this already, right? So can you kind of outline for the audience the stair steps of this project, what how you've introduced it and then had to build on it to where you are today?
Yes, so we created our PSAs and we uploaded it to the DECA website, where it competed against, I think, around 500 other videos. And so as a class, we shared our video on public websites such as Instagram, Facebook, just hoping that people take the time to click the link and share the video and vote for it. And so after voting ended, we top 10 videos with the most votes went to the second challenge, which was when judges graded it on what requirements it passed, if it gave out a clear message, basically making sure it met all the requirements.
So I would believe those requirements are what Shannon had highlighted earlier in her list of different things that it had to include.
Yes.
So that was part of the critique.
Yes.
All right, so you must have met a majority of those then.
Yes.
So where are we today with this project? Where are we today and where are we going? What's happening?
We wrapped up the project just recently, and we're going to we viewed a lot of the results that we got so far based on how many people we were able to reach and how we were able to spread the message of second chance hiring. So we're going to look back at the results we've gotten and evaluate how we can more effectively communicate this message in the future, and possibly how it can be better organized for working towards getting the message out there.
Are there any additional like local competitions or state competitions that you would be involved in with this particular project in the future?
I think if we definitely wanted to take it to a further step, we could. We don't have any at the moment that we're aware of, but definitely continuing to find opportunities to spread this campaign and make the community aware of what we're trying to do is important. So,
Well, since I work with the business sector a lot here at Ohio Means Jobs, Lucas County, I really am encouraged by what you've done and the support that you've provided for individuals that are, looking at having a second chance, because as the term states, second chance, people would like an opportunity to be able to get a fresh start, so to speak, in their life and have those chances offered to them. So I was curious what sort of message you each might like to give to employers so that they can hear from you what that would look like. What would that look like? What would you like employers to be able to do based on the different information you've provided in your project?
yeah, so I think like our main message through this project, we learned that second chance hiring isn't just about giving individuals a fresh start, but it's also about smart business decision making. Employers who embrace fair hiring practices gain access to loyal, motivated workforce. It reduces turnover and it helps strengthen their communities. Many justice impacted individuals are highly skilled and eager to work, yet they face the barriers that prevent them from contributing to the economy. By removing those hiring biases and focusing on potential rather than past mistakes, businesses can fill their labor shortages and improve retention rates, create meaningful change. So we want employers to know that second chances benefit everyone, businesses, employees, and communities as a whole, including us as students who just were introduced to this topic. So,
Oh, that's great. Anyone else want to add to that?
I don't know, I guess more of just like what Shannon said is like that I think it's very impactful or important for us to be more forgiving as a society and give like a second chance to a person, because a lot of the time, like as when on your job application, you just check that you've been convicted of a felony. There's a story to that. And I feel like a lot of the time we're not willing to hear out the story. And by giving people a second chance as employers, I think we can really impact and change someone's life.
From this side of the interview too, Ohio Means Jobs across the state has been investing in people while they're incarcerated. So a number of people have been successful in getting what we call in-demand training. So it'd be interesting to see for those who are returning to our community who've had the opportunity to get the training prior to release, how that might impact hiring decisions as well. Because this way someone does already have some of that knowledge of a particular trade that maybe they can just step in and, learn additional hands-on training, but it would give them a leg up, so to speak. Were you able to find out anything about whether or not there's these services going on within Ohio Means Jobs or?
Which services
The training and where the people are incarcerated. Were you able to tap into that?
A little bit. I remember when we were doing research on what businesses were that we wanted to target for second chance hiring. We specifically targeted those that were located near job training centers. So those are very helpful for getting businesses to like be more open to second chance hiring, as like they know the employees can be ready to go and they're going to be valuable to the company. So I think we definitely found that these job training centers are really useful.
Okay. Yeah, maybe we could do a sequel on that or something, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I really appreciate the opportunity to meet all of you. Wonderful work. Put a lot of effort into it. And it's nice to know that folks in our community, young folks in our community, are invested in these types of projects and looking out for other community members to help them also be successful in their vocational endeavors. So I really appreciate you coming on today. And thank you for your insightful message. And hopefully we'll be able to tag a couple of these PSAs along so that we're able to show our viewing audience what you actually did accomplish in a presentation.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day. So wasn't that informational?
It really was. It really was. I actually, something that's interesting, they mentioned that they used JIRA as a way to sort of track their progress through this project. And as they were talking to people and doing surveys, I only heard of JIRA as like a ticketing system for like IT folks in the tech industry. But that's a pretty creative use of that technology to try and track how they're, getting a hold of people and getting more information, and then using that research to try and advocate for folks who are looking for a fair chance.
Well, the other thing too was during this campaign, when they were out there soliciting for votes and so forth, they had a whole series of different points that had to be assessed to make sure that to move forward in the competition, that they were actually hitting on all of the relevant or key points that were part of this initiative. So they successfully made it through by the people who were doing the, I guess, reviewing committee. And so they should be very proud of themselves.
Definitely. Yeah. Very talented group of young folks over there, and kudos to them. They did an excellent job, and it was really great getting to listen to that
Well, I
interview.
would also like to commend their teacher because she was a mentor and I had to give them insight in how to accomplish this and get to the point where they did. And then also to reach out to us at the beginning of this process with one of our constituents from First Wednesday. So I feel really happy about the outcome, and I look forward to them maybe doing a sequel with us.
That'd be great.
In the near future. So I know they have a bright future ahead of them. So I
Definitely.
really thank you for letting us give you this opportunity to view these students from DECA.
Yeah, thank you.
Have a nice day.